Van Tassel back with you on the Rich Van Tassel Show, Brookdale Student Radio 90.5 HD3. Going into the playoff predictions here, we got the wild card weekend coming up. We are starting out with the Kansas City Chiefs. They finished the year 11-5. They are traveling to Sweat City, Houston, Texas, to play the Texans, the AFC South division winner, at 9-7. The injuries for the Kansas City Chiefs all listed as probable. Hussein Abdullah, safety. D Ford, linebacker. Chris Conley, wide receiver. Jeremy Maclin, wide receiver. Justin Houston, linebacker. For the Houston Texans, Whitney Merciless, the linebacker, probable. Dwayne Brown, the tackle, is out. Alfred Blue, running back. Jadeveon Clowney, linebacker, are questionable. And Nate Washington, the wide receiver, is probable. You look at this team, a lot is going to be made about, or this game that is, a lot is going to be made about Kansas City on their 10-game winning streak coming in. But Houston Texans were 2-5. They finished the year 7-2. I happen to like Houston in this game. I think the defense has really come along. Alfred Blue has not been great, but he's certainly been able to pick up the slack without Arian Foster when he went down with injury. Alex Smith, I think that Houston is going to make him go downfield, not let him stay underneath where he likes. They're going to take Travis Kelce out of the game. Not the top receiver, but certainly the favorite receiver of Alex Smith, and I think that's going to allow Houston to win. Brian Hoyer has to be efficient. He limited his turnovers in the regular season only through 7, so I believe that he is going to be able to do enough in this game, and that defense is going to take over. And Kansas City, it'll be what now, 23 years since they last won a playoff game after this loss? It's certainly been a long time. This might taste worse than the others because this team is on a 10-game winning streak. It's time for a guy like Andy Reid, though, to show how good of a coach he is and try to guide Kansas City to this victory. I don't expect Kansas City to get it done, but I do think that if there is anyone who can do it, it would be Andy Reid. All right, next up, this is the Saturday night game. Two division opponents, the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-6. The Cincinnati Bengals finished the season at 12-4.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, a guy I wanted to pick in the beginning. However,
looking at this game, it doesn't look like Andy Dalton is going to be able to play again. Yeah, he is listed as out. He's the only injury listed for the Cincinnati Bengals. For Pittsburgh, Le'Veon Bell, running back, Bruce Gakowski, defensive or quarterback, and Clifton Gathers, their defensive end, are all on injury reserve. D'Angelo Williams, the running back, is out. And Martavis Bryant, the wide receiver, is probable. Really simple. Can A.J. McCarron handle himself in this game? We know Cincinnati's playoff history. I think last year, though, they were again injured without A.J. Green. Here is it going to be the same thing. They're not going to, or the situation certainly is not going to rattle A.J. McCarron. He's been there. I don't even care if it's in the pros because he's been a winner in college. He knows what's expected of him, and he's going to have to find A.J. Green. Now, is this secondary going to be able to stop guys like Antonio Brown, who we just talked about doubling up on the All-Pro team, and certainly he was a sensational wide receiver. Martavis Bryant and Marcus Wheaton, two big guys. I don't know if Cincinnati's secondary can hold up, but what I do know is I expect that their defensive line will get pressure. I'm going to go with what I would think is an upset in this game. I think Cincinnati is going to find a way to win this game behind A.J. McCarron, and they're going to be able to get pressure on Ben Roethlisberger and probably go one-on-one on the outside, which is what I would do. If these guys are going to beat you, you might as well let them beat you one-on-one where you're bringing pressure. If you're going to double-team wide receivers, then you can't ever let them beat you, and I think if Cincinnati does double-team, they'll still get beat anyway. So that's why I'm picking the Bengals in this game. Maybe a bit of a surprise, and I may look foolish on this one, but give it to the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. All right, the Seattle Seahawks finished the year 10-6. They are traveling to Minnesota to play the Minnesota Vikings, obviously, who are 11-5. Some talk about the weather, Arctic conditions. I've been seeing, this on TV all week. I don't really know how cold it's going to be as of yet, and you never know. Things may change. But it is in Minnesota. This is it, and certainly this will be the last time that happens because they got that nice new stadium, which is indoors, coming. I'm sure Seattle and Minnesota are both wishing for that now. Injuries for the Seahawks: Marshawn Lynch, running back, probable. Tyler Lockett, wide receiver, and Luke Wilson, tight end, are questionable. Kim Chancellor, the safety, is probable. For the Vikings, Rhett Ellison, tight end, is on injury reserve. Adam Thielen, wide receiver, questionable. Adrian Peterson, running back. Linval Joseph, defensive tackle. Everson Griffin, defensive end, probable to go in this game. For this one, I am expecting Seattle to handle this game pretty easily. They are going to shut down the pedestrian wide receivers, and that's being nicely, of the Minnesota Vikings fairly easily, thus putting the game in Teddy Bridgewater's hands where he's going to have to try to make plays on his own. Now, they don't really do that, the Vikings, that is, they don't do that at all to begin with. However, they're going to crowd the box, Seattle that is, and make Adrian Peterson really, really one-dimensional, as in he's not going to do anything, which is going to force Teddy Bridgewater to have to throw the ball downfield, which is why I would have liked to see Minnesota open it up, because there's going to be eventually a game like this where you need to at least have the confidence, or just at least some sort of knowledge that Teddy Bridgewater can go downfield, and I don't think they have it here. I'm liking Seattle. Actually, I didn't even give you any of the scores. All right, we'll do this quick. Kansas City over Houston. Houston, I picked to win. I like low scoring, 23-20. The Cincinnati game, I like it 30-27 in favor of the Bengals. This game with the score, I like the Seattle Seahawks 31-14 over the Minnesota Vikings. It's going to be a very tough day for the Minnesota Vikings in this one. They're just going to have to take their beating and move on. All right. Up next, the Green Bay Packers at 10-6. They are traveling to Washington to play the Redskins, who are 9-7. Injuries for the Packers: Eddie Lacy, running back; Sam Shields, cornerback, are questionable. For the Redskins, Matt Jones, running back, questionable. Now, a lot of the teams have been very hot going down the stretch. Seattle, for example, finished 6-1. We discussed Houston 7-2 and Kansas City on the 10-game winning streak. Washington very quietly went from 4-6 to 9-7. They went 5-1 down the stretch. However, Green Bay is going in the opposite direction. They've been 4-6 into 6-0 start. Their offense has looked very sluggish, very inconsistent at times, and Kirk Cousins is having a very good year this year. This is a very interesting game. Washington has to come in with a lot of confidence. They're very good at home, 6-2 at home. They got better on the road, which I think just improved overall with how the team improved down the stretch. And I'm really liking the Washington Redskins in this game. Maybe foolish to go against Aaron Rodgers in this situation. I picked the Green Bay Packers to win the Super Bowl, so you figure I'd ride with them, but I don't, assess things on what I predicted early in the year. I'm assessing it on what's going on right now. I like the Washington Redskins to really surprise in this game. Give it to the home team, 27-23 in favor of the Redskins.